We are in the middle of Boston's North End. We were here just a little over a year ago doing a very different North End-ish themed food tour, which I will link down below. We went to Galleria Umberto and also Ernesto's Pizzeria. There are a ton more pizza joints in the North End. We're gonna be heading up 3 different places on this video: Regina Pizzeria, and then second, a restaurant called Area 4 in Cambridge, and the third one's gonna be Santarpios Pizza. Regina is probably the most landmarked, historical, popular place. So this is our first stop, and so I'll see you inside really soon. Right now we're inside of Regina Pizzeria. This is the original 1926 location, and it's on Thacher St. It feels like a corner, but once you walk in the neighborhood, immediately the iconic sign. There's a unique old school charm about this joint. Police badges lined up against all 4 ceilings. Lots of celeb photos, kind of like that old Italian pizza vibe. And I ordered 2 different kinds of pizza, the giambotta and also melanzane. And that has eggplant and ricotta, which is one of my favorite cheeses. This is a really much anticipated food experience. I have a lot going on in terms of my relationship with pizza from New York, where I used to live and ate lots of pizza and pizza-like things. I am very open-minded and eager to find Boston pizza. She asked if we like spicy, and that's not a question. So now we have a whole pitcher, I think, of hot oil. So this is the giambotta. It was so hot, it was blurring the camera lens, which is amazing. I like the rustic hot plate, very down to earth, very robust. Just see how fresh the ingredients are. That was a big selling point in coming in person here. Everything is just so fresh. Literally had just been pulled out of the oven fresh. Look at that cheese pull. Okay. Very thick sausage, and also there's a ton of cheese just bleeding over on top of everything that you're eating. I'm just gonna make a controversial comparison here. You know, like the plastic wrapped frozen pizzas that don't even have a box but like have just like a wrapping, the label. We used to always get supreme pizzas from like the local grocery store, and they have these suspiciously rotund sausages. This is like the best version of them, full-bodied in the flavor profile, but it's just like that frozen pizza sausage. A nice, satisfying clump of meat. And they also have like ham in here. You see that? And then mushroom just dripping here. So the toppings are not shy. A lot of the meaty pizzas, you can like get overwhelmed by the saltiness. And this is the opposite of that. You really taste the toasty, crispy meat stacked on top, completely blanketed with this melted cheese. The meat has to sit with you for a while for you to taste the fullness of the flavor. I'm starting to like this meat even better the more I eat it. And you see how this dough just opens up when you bite into it here? And it's so satisfying to find a dough pocket. This crust is one of the easiest crusts to eat for me for pizza. There's like thickness and it's weighty, but it's not heavy in terms of like what happens to it and how it sits with you. We're gonna get the biggest one now. This one is actually the one I'm most excited for because ricotta and like fresh eggplant on this. Some of the best things to eat in terms of vegetarian toppings. Outstanding flavor. Cheese is way more flavorful on this one. And this is really well-rounded and really savory. It's really impressive because there's no meat on this slice of pizza. I think with pizza, I'm just like a bigger fan of ricotta. The cheese dangle, the cheese pull is I'm gonna try this again. This bread bump here, can you see how authentically thick and well-rounded this piece of dough is? It's very clear that it's natural, made in-house with real human hands, and the ingredients fall however they fall. It's not evenly capitalistic. I'm just gonna do this. Ooh. It's especially satisfying with this hot sauce. I feel like this hot sauce really elevates it. If you're lacking any flavor from the original, if you pour some hot sauce on there, the oily, spicy, brings out more of the cheese and the meat flavor. Also, my hair is out of control and totally not compatible with this experience right now. As I'm sitting with these pizzas in my tummy, the theme, like viscerally with the pizza, is that it's just really classic. Like the giambota is like the supreme pizza, like the classic American supreme pizza. It has all the crispiness and all the doughiness, variety of ingredients, and all of the freshness. The variations, like the melanzane upon like classic giambota, you still get outstanding Regina pizza, but you get a little bit more fun, more specialized. They have ricotta on it. You know, you've wandered a little bit further away from home, but you went to college in the next town over. It depends on what you like. The cheese, the giambota are like go-to, everyone knows, crowd favorites. And then like if you want something different, if you want shrimp, if you want white sauce, if you want red pepper instead of blue pepper, green pepper, if you want red fish instead of blue fish, if you want one fish instead of two fish, you can. But the base is still very familiar and like consistent throughout. I can taste dedication, I can taste beauty, I can taste tradition, I can taste family, I can taste tomatoes, and I can also taste flour, lots of flour. So now we're gonna finish this up because it's amazing, and we're gonna transition to our next place in Cambridge for a very different kind of pizza. All right, guys, we're outside of Area 4, which is our second pizza place in our pizza party tour Boston thing. We're about to step in and try some really novel pizza selections, some innovative, techie, off-the-charts food items. This is a really close walk from where we visited for our brunch video, which is Cafe Luna, which had fantabulous breakfast, brunch, breakfast all day selections. This feels similarly exciting and foodie heaven-like. So let's go. Now we're at our second pizza place. They have 30-hour fermented sourdough crust. If the place we just went to, Regina's, is the queen of brick oven pizza, this is like in contention for the king of wood fire pizza. Like they have a very different pizza world to inhabit because the cooking method is so important for the texture and the way that the crust comes out, for the experience and the enjoyment of the pizza. The cool thing about this place, a secret but not so secret, Obama came here for a presidential pizza party. Mr. Obama came here and ordered a mushroom and fontina pizza. There's no pressure today to eat like Obama, but I think that's really cool. I can imagine why they could fit like more than 30 people. This space is pretty tremendous, really spacious. We're in the middle of Technology Square. This is a very different joint than the last place. The pizzas that we're trying in this video are a little bit classier than the ones that I have deviated toward when I'm in my times of need. One of those pizza places, it's called Leone's. That's a place that's known for its Sicilian pizzas. There's Sicilian and there's Neapolitan. This place is supposed to be somewhere in between. I did my research. A balance of New Haven and Neapolitan style pizza. The waitress today recommended a maple bacon pizza, and that reminded me of breakfast, so I decided to add 2 eggs on top of it. So that's one of them. The other one's gonna be a prosciutto pizza. I think it also has arugula. This is the prosciutto pizza. Doesn't it look magical how it's just rotating? It's my finger. I love the copious arugula on this. You can really see the contrast and like depth between the crust and the fresh ingredients. Oh, do you see this? This waterfall of prosciutto. The prosciutto is so light and flaky, and then the arugula is obviously like clouds. You really can like scoop yourself a good posture with this pizza because it's really foldable. I never fold pizzas, but this pizza is very satisfying, so I decided to. That was a lot of prosciutto. I'm gonna give us some oregano and also like toasted garlic. Let's just drizzle it. Yeah. Okay, that's a lot of spices right here. I did an Aldi video with everything bagel seasoning, and I dumped the whole thing in my mouth.
Oh my gosh.
And I learned from that. So I'm just gonna dust my finger in the flakes very delicately and to taste it by itself. That's a really nice toasted, roasted, crispy garlic flavor. You see how this dough is popping? And it's also very like bubbly and fresh. This is what you want at the end of a pizza. I can't say that the arugula is my favorite part of the pizza because that's kind of like desperate. But I really appreciate what the arugula does. I feel like a long nip. This one is the maple bacon. The most exciting decision I made today is to put 2 eggs on this pizza. $4 is nothing compared to happiness. You see the landscape of this? The earth is dazzling. I can taste the onion, the maple bacon flavored onion. You see this? And how the yolk is just like thick and covering the rest of the pizza, and it's dripping so slowly because it's very viscous. That's what you want. And I understand that these are both a little bit more of a fusion twist, but I have a bias, and that's my bias. I also have a bias for the roasted garlic. You should definitely get this garlic. This is probably the most MVP item to add on your pizza. I feel deeply for anyone who doesn't enjoy garlic. When I grew up, I feel like I didn't grow up fully. I'm still growing up. As I was growing up, I grew up in the Midwest, went to school in Chicago. Deep dish pizza was like the jam there. Prior to that, the family favorite pizza was Pizza Hut. And you know Pizza Hut. They were like dry rinse and again, soaked in oil. You have to use up your entire package of napkins. And then deep dish was like on the deep side of that. Arguably not even pizza anymore. And when I moved to New York, which is like the opposite side of the spectrum, I had to like acquire the taste of thin crust pizza, like Brooklyn style pizzas. This feels most similar to that. And I think it's like, if you're going to make it thin, you have to pack as much as you can into the slice of paper that you've created, right? Thin crust is very talented and capable of holding like 5 times its weight. The structure of the bridge is important for the traffic, you know what I mean? Overall here, it's more innovative, it's more edgy, it's more A4. I feel like A4 is interesting because it almost kind of feels like the way that A4 of Wagyu makes Wagyu, but with pizza and like cheese. I feel like people should start calling like high grade innovative pizza like A4 pizza. It sounds like I have money, come get me. These 2 pizzas, very different combination of flavors and toppings, did a lot to transform the fundamental experience. Regina Pizzeria was a lot more your 1920s neighborhood establishment, lots of history, lots of passion, lots of demand for like elevated supreme pizza. Here it's a lot more new and different and modern and spacious and kind of like, you know, the next generation of pizza. It's 2 entirely different offerings depending on what you're looking for and also what you're feeling. I'll see you guys in the next restaurant. We've got 1 more left. Santarpios Pizza. I've heard a lot of great things, even from people in our neighborhood. Go see there. We've arrived at our 3rd location, Santarpios Pizza. This place is really cool because walking in, you can immediately notice there's actually a lot more area to be seated and eat at a table side. Lots of local reminders that you're in Boston. There's a lot of Tom Brady on the wall. Actually, the legacy of sports here, besides Mr. Brady, runs deeper than I actually thought. Apparently, the person who founded and opened this shop in Boston, his name was Joseph Santarpio. He was a big baseball lover. He actually turned down an offer to play for the New York Yankees to help run his father's business. He started this place, Santarpios Pizza. They say the world is forever grateful for that decision because people from all over the world now come here. Down the generations, it's still going. The pizza's really stripped down, and they actually prepare it upside down. They put all the toppings and the meat, and then they add the sauce, and then put it in the oven and cook it. I'm really hoping that the pizza tastes like the legacy sounds like. It's really cool because we haven't done any white sauce pizza yet. So we did half chicken and broccoli and half shrimp scampi. Very, very common, lovable toppings for anything American Italian. And we did the works, which is like a big collage of meat slapped on top of the pizza. The other thing that my friend who has been here, it seems like multiple times, just walking in with his family, they noticed every single table they had a platter of skewers, and it sounds like they have lamb skewers and they have beef skewers, which is also steak tips. It comes with bread and some kind of pepper on the side. I've seen more reviews online that rave about the skewers. I'm really excited to try it. Wow, this looks pretty promising. It's very no BS. I can see the sauce sitting on top. It's just the bare bone ingredients, but it looks like a fantastic way of preparing them. The cheese ball is fantastic. I can't stand up for this, but you can tell that there's a lot going on here. Two-hand project here. It's so fresh. It's burning my hand. All right, I'm just gonna go in. There's more cheese to crust ratio, but it's not compromising the crispiness of the crust. It's milder. I think it could be a little more seasoned. I think that's what a lot of the sides are for. Parmesan, they've got red pepper. I think I'm just gonna do a generous dash. Highly recommend. This elevates the complexity of the flavor for me fivefold. There's a ton more I can taste after sprinkling that pepper on it. Big fan of this crust. This is like a glorified, really, really ideally toasted baguette over here. It's dry, it retains how crispy and solid it is, regardless of all the sauce and that cheese that they add on top. It's pretty impressive. Okay, now we've got half and half chicken and broccoli and half shrimp scampi. The chicken and broccoli side. And this is the shrimp scampi side. I think I'm gonna go for the chicken and broccoli because it's a little bit more basic chemistry first. It's a little bit easier to pick up like this. Ooh, it is quite heavy though, you see. I give a nod to the broccoli and this side of the pizza. I'm a big fan of broccoli, to be honest. I think they did a good job with the fresh broccoli, the way they've prepared this on this pizza. It looks really, really good compared to all the chicken and broccoli pizzas I've had in my lifetime. And I haven't had many. I think the broccoli and the chicken are both quite moist, in like the best version of moist as a word. So I think chicken and broccoli pizza usually like you get the cafeteria version where it's like been sitting out for a while and it's clearly dry. It's not as fresh. This is definitely the freshest version of this type of topping I've had like ever. The underbelly of this pizza crust has kind of like some toasted, I think they're poppy seeds, the way that bagels have poppy seeds. It's quite illustrious. I appreciate the presence of the poppy seeds. Hello there. We're gonna move on. The shrimp scampi. How much more attractive is it with the red pepper flakes? Look at that. The shrimp is really responsive and soft. Good texture, it's got juiciness. There isn't as much like saltiness, but adding some of the Parmesan brings a little bit more depth of flavor. If you get the shrimp scampi here, highly recommend adding this. If you get the chicken and broccoli, highly recommend adding this for extra texture, dimension, and flavor. Like the toppings are here for a reason and take advantage of them. This is our side, skewers, and they've taken it off the stick. And we've got quite a lot to go with it with the peppers here. And we've got 3 slices of bread here. I'm gonna probably pick the juiciest looking one. I love how shiny and sheeny this is right here. Everything here is very mild in terms of saltiness, but I really admire how much of this lamb flavor and robust, meaty juicy tenderness. It's captured, very perfectly charred. I don't taste any gaminess at all. It's just very smoky, satisfying meat flavor. There's so much meat. So this is a pepper twist. This pepper is actually pickled pepper. Peter Piper picked a pickled pepper from here. Oh, this pickled pepper is so spicy. It's like resonating in my mouth cavity. You can't just eat that pepper alone unless you're just insane and crazy person. I think a big part of why that was so arresting, I ate a decent amount of seeds out of the middle of this pepper. If you like spicy, this pepper is probably a must try for you. It is so penetrating. I think between the three elements, it's very well balanced because you've got some padding with the bread, you've got the substance and the flavor here with the meat, and then you've got the extra dynamic and added dimension with this pepper. Still intolerably extroverted. I think as a whole, the word that comes to mind with this place is like hearty, robust, portion size is very satisfying. How unique and stand out in quality the skewers are here really makes this experience like all the more memorable for me, especially as a first time visitor here. Pizza places can be very grab and go in this culture, very like transient. To find a really good sit down pizza experience is really like meaningful. So glad that we had all of these different places to try and like slightly different experiences at each place. We have gone to 3 pizza places: Regina Pizzeria, the original 1926 location, Area 4 in Cambridge, the very technological, innovative space, and Santarpios, our 3rd location today. These are 3 very, very different spots in Boston. Regina Pizzeria and Santarpios Pizza are very similar in terms of that very home, neighborhood establishment. Between these 2 places, just personally in my opinion, I would say that Santarpios is a better pick just because there's a lot more going on for me. It's more exciting. There are different side dishes like the skewers, which are a standout selection. Even just as a plate, you can fill up very easily on those skewers. It's a huge advantage to be able to have a side dish in addition to your main pizza dish that everyone really enjoys. Number 2, Area 4. That prosciutto pizza was my favorite. Of every single pizza pie I ate in this video, the bounteous amounts of thinly sliced pig in that pizza, the copious arugula that was dumped on top of it, that was one of my favorite, most unique experiences. And I think the vibe of Area 4 was just really novel and young and energetic. Maybe it's just that I miss college, like hip, trendy people. And I think wood fire is one of my new favorite types of thin sliced pizza cooking. Because like I said, if you're gonna buy 1 slice of paper, you might as well have it taste really, really good because it's so thin. So that concludes our North End. That concludes our Boston Pizza Party Tour shipping. I'm really excited for the next video. So until then, thanks, bye.